when a game from the 2000s has more in-depth gameplay than the latest installment, and it's just showing like animations like him rolling in bed or the car door. I mean, cars themselves, but actually like jamming the car door. Okay. Again, even just coming out of a driveway. When was The Sims 2 released? Was it like 2003, 2004 or something? And then obviously we've also got the cutscenes in The Sims 2. And I think this TikTok is a really great highlight of just a small little details about The Sims 2 that just make it so much more special. The nostalgia, oh my god. I mean, I can see why they didn't actually put swinging a child around like a helicopter in The Sims 4. I can see why they didn't do that. It's like one of those Olympic hammer throws. I didn't even know this was a thing. So this is an interesting one. In The Sims 2, if your sim drinks too much espresso, they will start to visibly shake. Does that happen in The Sims 4? It just kind of looks like she's glitching a little bit. I mean, what is this? An object error at the end? Well, there we go. If there's an error, maybe it shouldn't have been like this.
Enjoy me losing it as I lose my pregnant with twins. Gen 8 Legacy are all because of a ghost being mad we deleted their bed.
They deleted the ghost bed. Oh, look, the ghost is actually thinking about the bed and the ghost is mad. See, this is a detail in Sims 2. Sims actually recognized it. Oh my god, look. She's mad. Sims in The Sims 2 actually do recognize when you either give them an object or when you get rid of an object from them. And she literally took revenge and she killed the other sim who was pregnant, which is hilarious. So according to the comments, getting scared from a ghost drops your needs a bit. The sim's hunger was already low, so the scare drops it down and she's starved. All this because the ghost was mad because they took the bed away. See, this is like, I love The Sims 2.
You probably forgot that when going to bed, if a sim has a partner, they will cuddle through the night.
I mean, we have that in The Sims 4, but it does require the Love Struck expansion pack. The animation in The Sims 2 is obviously better than The Sims 4 animation. Like, there is no doubt about that, of course. These are crazy little details in The Sims 2 you probably forgot. Okay, when coming back from school, extroverted children will invite a classmate over. So they do their own thing, but you can play with them if you want to. Okay. I thought they just did that anyway, but it's apparently an extrovert thing. I don't think that happens in The Sims 4, to be fair. Maybe we already have that in The Sims 4, I don't know. A couple of those things we have in The Sims 4, I think, to be fair, but The Sims 2 is the king of just all these extra little details that we never had before. And I think it's a real big shame that we don't have these little details in The Sims 4. The Sims 2 cutscene of giving birth. She sounds like she's in a lot of pain. See, I miss these. I feel like these cutscenes just make things so much more special. This is an excellent highlight of it because in The Sims 4, there isn't even really like, don't you just get a pop-up and it's like your skin is, no, you get the notification saying your sim is in labor and then you click the sim and have the baby. They don't even really do much of an animation. They just do a very little push, like very minute, tiny push animation. And then it's just like the baby is popped out and placed in a randomly generated crib. Do you know what I mean? I feel like having a baby in The Sims 4 is not that special, whereas in The Sims 2, actually going through this kind of like animation stuff, I just feel like it makes it so much more special. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it highlights a really great part of The Sims that we're missing. We do know that they're going to include some cutscenes in Inzoi, which I think is really interesting. And I definitely think cutscenes just help to make a moment in the game feel more rewarding, because in The Sims 4, we don't have that. We normally just have a pop-up telling you what's happening without it actually happening. I also feel like cutscenes would fix a lot of issues in The Sims 4, like weddings, for example. Like, instead of actually having a wedding, you can instead just have a cutscene of a wedding. So it's all like scripted and it's actually working properly. Like, I feel like these kind of things definitely need to be brought back. Did you know in The Sims 2, the flat screen TV can fall off the wall? Yes, and does that not happen in The Sims 4? I guess it doesn't happen, does it? It's just a Sims 2 thing. I mean, he doesn't look too bothered, does he? He looks very calm. I mean, this is a detail that I kind of think is funny, but then I'm like, if they brought this back in The Sims 4, it would just end up like, you know, like with the Murphy bed, for example, from The Sims 4 Tiny Living, but then it comes with a new death, but it's like they die like pretty much half the time they try and use their bed. Like, I feel like in The Sims 4, they'd be too trigger happy with it. It took me 20 years to realize the real story of the Sims 2 Broke family. As we know, Brandy Broke is a widowed mother of 2 children, and she's also carrying her 3rd. They live in a small trailer, and she lost her husband by a pool ladder accident in that tiny pool. According to her bio, Brandy is friendly by nature, but she's often been accused of being overly so, and she enjoys grapefruit and crumbling tin foil. Oh, okay, she's not interested in work at all and lazy, but when she met Skip, she got a job in the culinary career, and she has a high level of cooking skills. The process of synthesizing, you know what, also known as cooking, everything went as usual until Skip's death by drowning. Okay. Her husband's death affected her and she decided to quit off work and start a new life. What do you guys think? Okay, so this is like, okay, The Sims 4 has no lore. It has no storylines. It doesn't even try. Like, sometimes they bring back old townies, but they don't really do anything with them. Do you know what I mean? They're just kind of there. They don't really have any lore. It's more just like Easter eggs, like hints or references to old lore. So what we're basically figuring out is, okay, it's kind of like a Breaking Bad thing and I can't really say it. See, this is like every single household in The Sims 2 has so much store and like lore. I just said store and lore. I meant like lore and storylines. I mix them up. See, look, like Brandy's got a bio, which like The Sims 4 could never. Also, Sims in The Sims 2 have memories, you can see here, and every single pre-made townie, by the way, has memories. Sims 4 could never. We've got so many systems in The Sims 4 that kind of replicate memories, but we don't just have like one simple, straightforward memory system in this game, which I think is just so funny. Sims 2 townies, pre-made townies, all have a long line of memories, and they have the bios and the family tree. And as you go through all of it, it just helps to piece together like every single townie in their story, but there's always a hint of mystery. They don't just tell you outright, and I just love that about The Sims 2. I think this is an excellent theory video. Oh, here's another. This is one of those like aesthetic. I really love these aesthetic Sims 2 videos where it's just like a very minimal, like back to basics storyline. In The Sims 2, okay, you could go supermarket shopping. She would actually carry the bloody basket. She'd go to the till and buy it. She'd drive home. Okay, maybe it's not realistic putting the basket in the fridge, but at the very most of it's realistic. In The Sims 4, firstly, you can't really buy groceries if you go shopping with the Sims 4 retail get to work, but they don't actually like line up at the till. They just do that generic swipe animation that they use for pretty much every Sims 4 animation. The Sims 4 just feels so primitive compared to The Sims 2. Like, it's literally insane. You could argue all you want about The Sims 4's cute cartoony vibe and aesthetics and build mode, but it is these kinds of details that I think Simmers just really want and miss, because ever since The Sim 1, the most popular way to play The Sims 4 is just to live a normal, boring life. This has been always how it's been in every single Sims game, and I just feel like The Sims 2 really takes that to heart. Sims 4 versus Sims 2 babies. Oh, this will be a good one. Okay, diaper change. Oh, much more dramatic in The Sims 2. Okay. Can you not breastfeed in The Sims 2? It's just baby bottles from the fridge. Back then, I guess boobs were obscene. In The Sims 2, they can handle babies together. No interaction with sleeping babies in The Sims 4. Sims 2, they can tuck them in while they're sleeping. That's really cute. Sims 4 playing is like holding them there, tickling them. Sims 2. I mean, it's not that different, I suppose. It's just that Sims 2 babies are tied to a crib, aren't they? Sims 4 ones are, rather, whereas in The Sims 2, you can actually take them out, which is, I guess, a lot more fun. We did have more for babies in The Sims 2 base game than The Sims 4. Baby changing tables were a free base game thing in The Sims 2, but in The Sims 4, you need a pack for it. So that's one thing The Sims 2 has on it. Things in The Sims 2 that got me in a chokehold. Morning cuddles with your partner. I mean, we do have it in The Sims 4, but again, DLC. The way your pet right in front of you in the car seat. That is very cute. Going grocery shopping, you can't beat that. Unnecessary, but gives so much life. Exactly that. The Sims 2 has like incredible cooking animations, I'm telling you now. And the food itself actually looks good. Romantic interactions feel more interactive. Again, I'll let the video play. In the Sims 4 Love Struck, they actually brought back some of the Sims 2 kind of styled romance animations, but of course it's a paid pack instead of being base game. The Sims 2, honestly, I don't think the Sims 4 will ever, I mean, like any future Sims game, not that we're getting the Sims 5 anymore. I truly don't know if any future Sims game will ever actually beat the Sims 2. I mean, any life simulation game by any life sim developer, I don't think it will ever be as just good as the Sims 2 was. I don't know what they did. I have no idea. Apparently they made the Sims 2 in Excel on a spreadsheet. I don't know if that's true, but I heard something like that. The game is very impressive. It's so mysterious. It's so iconic. They will never do better. I'm telling you now. Sims 2 Teenagers Part 2. See, teens in the Sims 2 were just like, I think how Gen Z are trying to be with the Y2K shit. Like the Sims 2 is literal 2000s teen. I think, like, look at the PC. See, I'd have a PC like that to play the Sims 2 on when I was younger. I also feel like in the Sims 2, I want to say with teens, there was a lot more like teen specific animations, interactions, and just like smarter Sims 2 AI for teens back then. They actually felt like teenagers. I feel like Sims 4 teenagers, not only do they not look like teenagers, they don't necessarily act like teenagers. They just kind of act like mini adults, whereas teens in the Sims 2, I feel like definitely did act like teens. Me playing the Sims 2 and realizing I can't make my female Sims marry each other. And they can't get married. So homosexuality does exist. It has existed ever since the Sims 1, but it existed in a backwards way because back then marriage was 100% like religious thing. I mean, it wasn't religious, but that was the excuse that they used in order to actually justify it. So back then we had civil partnerships legally in the UK anyway. You couldn't get married, you would have to get a civil partnership. But in The Sims 2, you can be romantic with the same sex, but you would have something called a joint union, and it functioned in pretty much the exact same way as marriage. Also, sexuality, it kind of was hard-coded in the game, but kind of wasn't. It was very confusing, sexuality in old Sims games, because it's something that they kind of creeped around, but it definitely has existed in The Sims 2. It's just not the same. In The Sims 4, it's kind of totally equal, although even, did you know, Sims 4 townies have sexuality? If you try and make a male sim flirt with Mortimer Goth, for example, it will never ever happen because he's hard-coded to be straight. So a lot of the pre-made Sims 4 townies actually have hard-coded sexualities that are different to the sexuality system that you set in CAS, by the way. It's all, do you know, every single Sims game has handled it in a very confusing way, to be fair. Why I love The Sims 2. More hidden details here. Pizza delivery. She actually opens a car, doesn't just fade in. Okay. Sims 2 pizza does look very good. Oh, he's wiping away the crumb. That's fair enough. Spooning in bed. Cars. I do really miss cars. I like the way Sims 2 cars work because The Sims 2 didn't have an open world and even they still had a car. EA can't use the excuse that we don't have an open world for not putting cars in this game. They can't use that excuse because The Sims 2 didn't and we still had cars. Okay, yummy food, serving to the family. And you know, Sims 2 townies actually sat down and ate properly. In The Sims 4, they don't really do that, do they? Landline phones. We are getting those back in an upcoming Sims 4 event, but apparently they are actually non-functional, which I really hope the rumor's not true. Wants and fears were excellent in The Sims 2. I just want to say, wants and fears in The Sims 2 makes so much sense. In The Sims 4, we have those like whims, like those little aspiration things, mini missions to do, but they don't make much sense. And Sims do have fears in The Sims 4, but they only actually, I believe they maybe only added fears that come with The Sims 2 base game and The Sims 4 high school years, and they gave up on it again. I can't remember. But like Sims just have like annoying fears in The Sims 4, like a fear of unfulfilled wishes if you don't complete their aspiration or something. Like it's not actually something that's personal to the actual sim and their personality. Not that Sims 4 Sims do have any personality. Like it's just a downward spiral. Like one Sims 4 issue causes another Sims 4 issue, which causes another. But I think out of this specific video, the one I probably think is the best is probably the wants and fears because they were just insane. Sims 2 versus Sims 4 brushing teeth. Is this what we're really talking about here? Like, is there really going to be that much difference in The Sims 2? What is she actually doing? I mean, could you argue that she's potentially taking like maybe a little bit too long? I mean, she did open she did open the glass thing to actually get the toothbrush out, which is pretty cool. I'll give the video that because she does actually open the mirror cabinet. That's actually quite impressive, to be fair. I like that one. That's fair enough. Sims 4 versus Sims 2 microwave dinner. Like, it's just, okay, Sims 2, she opens the fridge, pops it in the microwave. How can they be that different, really, between both the games? Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand. Oh, I mean, that looks quite ugly, to be fair. See, in The Sims 2, she like elbows the fridge shut. See, that is like a proper like hidden detail that you don't really see in The Sims 4. I guess in The Sims 2, the dish looks pretty. You do see it cook a little bit better. I think that's it. It's these small like little details in The Sims 2 that make it feel like they're actually alive rather than in The Sims 4 where they just feel like they're hopping from one animation to the next. I think that's a key difference, to be fair, isn't it? The other day I actually played in The Sims 2 Strange Town and it was a bit buggy, but it was also very fun. So make sure you check that video out here. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.